You know, when like everybody was doing a podcast, I always tell them, I was like, man, are you trying to grind or are you trying to just get popping? Because if you're trying to grind, then you start your channel yourself and you get the moving, right? You're not gonna get pushed out like that. You ain't gonna, but if you're trying to just try to make a quick $2,000-3,000 an episode and let somebody do all the heavy lifting, they're gonna blow you up, but you're not gonna own your channel. Right, they're gonna pay you accordingly. You're gonna be making $5-10 grand a month, but the channel making 400,000. Right, you ain't getting nothing. You know what I mean? So I said, you know, like me, 2017. Like everyone credits, you know, Matt Barnes and Knuckleheads for being the first athlete podcast. I was the first athlete podcast. They were just mainstream. You know, you had Players Tribune and they had Showtime. I was doing my shit out of Ty Lopez's house, right? And then, you know, once COVID hit, it grounded everyone, and that's when I took advantage and said, wait, hold on. Celebrity, y'all can't use celebrities now. Now it's back to the even playing field, right? You can't get the Cobes and AI. All right, so what y'all gonna do now? Do Zoom? I know a group of people that wanna be on the show and they don't give a fuck about the COVID right now. That's them kids. So that's when I got Juju. See, I had Juju in high school. I had Amari Bailey. I had Oneka. I had, you know, shit, who did I have? Shit, I had Elijah. He was middle school. Right, so I had all this content. You know, and I won a Silver Webby Award for it.
I think that's.
But you got to start from the beginning. That's why I was like, I'm never selling my rights.
But that's like also streaming every single day.
Huh?
Were you doing it like every day, like streaming?
No, I was once a week.
Are you still doing once a week?
Yeah, but then, you know, I started seeing like the Kais coming, right? You know, I seen the Kais, the Aiden Rosses, right? The Neo. You know, I'm Speed. And I'm like, that's it. This once a week bullshit ain't it. A show every single day that's moving. So that's when Gilbert Arenas, that's when Gilbert Arenas came.
But imagine if he signs the name, image, and likeness over to somebody early, he can't go create Gilbert Arenas. You know what I'm saying? That's the power of like.
And I was thinking about it too. So I was like, all right, so this what happened. Like Showtime came in and it's like, oh, we want to do a show. And I think they were trying to sign me under Matt Barnes and them. Like, I don't know what they were trying to do. And I was like, well, I have my own YouTube channel. So YouTube can be the platform. And I can just go straight to the sponsor. And they make a sponsorship deal. And that's how I did it. Like right now, people don't realize the reason no one has leverage on me because look, we're not on Gil's Arena. We're on my personal YouTube channel, right? So no matter what happens, I can always fall back to my personal YouTube. There's nobody else out there that has a personal YouTube channel. You know, Shannon's personal YouTube channel is his actual show. So you know what I mean? I can, like this right here, this is not sponsored by anybody, so I can go out and always leverage a sponsor with another sponsor.
That's the genius of it, right? It's like once you build your own platform, nobody could take it from you, right? Once you build on somebody else's, and that's kind of what we're seeing in the sports space right now with a lot of these people who've made a name from an ESPN or FS1 or whatever it may be.
You're right.
It's like they got these names from that platform. Now you can't grow that name outside of that platform.
And the platform still owns. Because what ends up happening is, let's just say, you know, no names, but just the ESPN analyst that moves outside of ESPN to get their own platform. Because the platform owns their rights, for them to actually own a YouTube channel, they have to get permission from the platform, right? Now, that means you're in business still with the platform. Or, you know, and all your work is coming from the platform. So all the editors, everything is still platform work, right? So you're still paying the platform itself for the structure of it. None of them have structure outside of, like if they got separated from the platform, and they had to really go out on their own and do it themselves,
They wouldn't know how.
they wouldn't know how.
Yeah.
So most of them are still using the producers from where they worked and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's still the same. There's still the same platform landscape.
And I think the genius of what you do by building these sets in your place, right? What it does is it keeps a home environment, it keeps a family environment to where when you walk in here, you don't feel like you going to work. Like you feel like you a part of culture. You feel like you a part of something that you can contribute to. And a lot of times when you in those spaces, you gotta watch your tone, you gotta watch how you dress, you gotta watch what you say. Like anytime I'm with Gil, I feel like I could just be myself, right? When you come on Gil's Arena, you feel like you could be yourself. It's why it's my favorite sports show, because I can't get from First Take or whatever it may be, what I can from Gil's Arena, not just from a reporter standpoint, from somebody that actually played. So they're gonna give me the perspective of the actual player, not just the person that's watching it from the sidelines, but then they can give that take as well, but then it's also something you relate to as a fan of them.
I feel like it just don't feel like a script either. Like,
Yeah.
it just feel organic.
Yeah, you know, even though like our stuff is still, you know, comes with a rundown.
Yeah.
And the reason that like most of them can't, like if they really wanted to try to have a debate with me, it'd be hard for them because Josiah came from football. He worked ESPN, he worked these. So, you know, we have Steve. So most of the crew came from ESPN. So you know me, I'm gonna ask all the fucking questions in the world. How does everything work? How do they get their topics? What do they do? How do they, you know what I mean? So I have the playbook of them. So because I have their playbook, they can't, it'd be hard to just naturally beat me.
Yeah.
Because I know how you're gonna ask a question. So if you're, let's say you're a Jordan fan and you're trying to make a Jordan, you know, #1, you know, what's the name? You're gonna narrow everything down to fit that actual criteria, right? So you're gonna say, all right, how many game winner Jordans have? And then they're gonna get an answer. Okay, how many in the fourth quarter? Okay, how many in third? So you're gonna narrow it down to make your point, which now gives me all the leverage. Because I'm gonna open my field up to see everything that you're missing to prove this point. And that's what ends up happening with them. They narrow everything down to just fit their point, but they're asking a producer who's just gonna go to Google.
Yeah.
Right? There's no basketball knowledge to that point. And I mean, they're good at what they do because at the end of the day, it's still part of entertainment.
Yeah.
So I know they can't technically do what I do, but I can do what they do. But I really have to respect what they do, so I can learn it. So I just can't throw them out the way and say, "Oh, y'all trash." No, I gotta really watch a Skip Bayless. I gotta really watch Stephen A, the Shannon Sharms, the Mike Wrights. The Nick Wrights. I gotta really study them to see how.
I think you downplaying your genius though, Gil, because yes, you study them and you watch them, but you also study the philosophy behind the show. So you'll understand, all right, all the sports shows is on at 9 a.m. You know what? We dropping at 11.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you go we started the group chat for Battle Mode in September. Like, you literally did the research. Like, what time is people on? What time are they playing games? What should it look like? Like, you did that. Like, ain't nobody do that but you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you go into a level of things that I think everybody don't or most people hire somebody else to do. And because you understand it for yourself, you understand how to kind of like distribute that and what it looks like for your platform. I think that's a genius thing in itself. I take a lot of notes from you. Like,